All right, everybody, welcome back to the podcast. Got your boy Xage here, of course, joined by a beautiful, fresh new soul to my life, Emmeline Salazar, joining us.
Hello.
Another friendly face, another USC student, and another driven, motivated person. We stand. Welcome to the house. Thanks for coming. I just want to tell everybody how we met because I thought it was so nice. Well, we did have class together, but we, through the college socialist ladder, never ran into each other. I never introduced myself. You didn't either, so.
Yeah, it happens. Life be like that.
Exactly. It's just a weird vibe, I think, in college. People, they like go in, head down, do their work, and they leave, you know? I've talked about that before. But then you reached out to me a couple weeks ago, and you were just like, hey, man, I've been checking out your podcast. Content seems cool. It's nice to be in, feel like I'm keeping in touch with the people that I can't with right now, which was like the most beautiful sentiment. I was seriously so excited when you messaged me. You have no idea.
Oh,
like,
I'm glad.
I don't get a lot of messages like that, so it was very flattering. And I was like, damn, people are like resonating with the content, you know?
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah, I felt like my time at USC was cut short because COVID. So I was like, all these kids that I had class with and I never spoke to, or like some of them that I was speaking to but didn't get to know.
Or didn't get to keep in touch now, you know, because there's nothing to do. I feel like so lost in the terms of like trying to meet new people right now. You know what I mean? Like there's not a lot of like parties, classes, gatherings, like there's nothing, you know?
Right.
So it's been such a stress. Have you been able to stay active with the people that you are close with and stuff? I know you said you're back in NoHo. Do you have like some friends there?
Yeah, I have some friends that like moved back to LA and they moved to the same area as me, which is really nice.
Hell yeah.
And I've been doing my rounds now of like all the people that I usually would be interacting with. I've been like emailing them or texting them or like messaging them on Instagram, being like, hey, it's been almost a year. I hope you're good.
Dude, I feel
let's
you.
connect.
Yes.
Because also in the beginning, I was afraid to like reach out to people because I knew like a lot of people weren't doing well, like mentally, or just like people were losing their jobs. So I was like, I don't.
It's true.
Like, I'm gonna give you your space, and I'm like, okay, now it's been a year, so like hopefully you're okay,
Hopefully
or like
everybody's
have
loosened up,
yeah.
right? Yeah, no, I totally agree. I'm noticing myself even this week, like reaching out to people who I like had plans with to come visit, like people who aren't from LA. And I agree, right? Like throughout last summer, it was like something I would hint at, you know, like, hey, if you guys still want to come, you should come. But everybody's like, dude, it's kind of weird right now. But in the past like few weeks, people seem to be more interested in traveling again and getting around. I'm not sure necessarily that's a good thing, but it's good for me because I like seeing people, you know? Were you originally from NoHo? So for those who don't know, North Hollywood, you scoundrels. Are you from NoHo? Are you from South California? Tell me your origin story.
I'm from LA. I grew up in Encino and in Hidden Hills.
Okay, unfamiliar.
Hidden Hills is like where the Kardashians live.
Okay.
So it was very a bit of a culture shock when I moved there, because you know I'm Mexican and most of those people there were like white and very rich,
spoiled.
And, so I mean they're good people, but like I would go there and people would think like I was like one of the helps kids that went to school there.
That's fucked up.
It was really weird. I'd never dealt with that until I went to school in that area, and I was like, oh, this.
What brought you guys over there?
My stepdad. So I was raised by my stepdad, who was he passed away, but he was a film composer.
I'm sorry.
And so he did like TV and film. And so when my little sister was born, we needed to like upgrade, but he wanted to like work from home to be close to our family. So Hidden Hills is like known for being a ranch style homes. So you would have like your big house, and then in the back would be like you would have your horses or stables and all that. So we tore our little area down and created a home studio.
Oh wow.
Which was really sick.
Super sick.
So I grew up like always around music, and I guess that's like kind of how I got into it. Was him and his dad both did music for film and TV, and his dad was like a really big deal.
Okay.
He did like the music to like Mulan and The Omen. He got an Oscar for.
No way. Your grandfather?
Yeah.
Your step grandfather, whatever you call it.
I call him my grandfather.
Yeah, absolutely. I have a complex family tree as well. Don't worry. Yeah.
My family tree is like all over the place. So I grew up around that, and I was just like very fascinated by Hollywood and entertainment culture.
Definitely.
Just by being in LA. So I was like.
And you had such a firsthand experience. I imagine if they were like, had a home studio, they were doing a lot of work at home, and you were being surrounded by it if you were there.
Yeah.
I am curious if you don't mind getting into it. Being raised by a stepfather is kind of unique, you know? I do have a stepfather, so I'm familiar with that kind of relationship. but I can't imagine this dude raising me by himself. It sounds very difficult for him.
Yeah.
So tell me what that was like, and if you guys had to like
It
take
was
some
it was
time.
him and my mom, and it was the two of them like raised me basically.
Okay.
And yeah, it was interesting because he knew, like, he met my mom and he like fell in love with her, but he knew that the way to her heart was through her daughters because she already had me and my older sister. So he had to like also like win us over. So that was really nice because like I've heard horror stories of like step parents, and I'm like, thank God I never had that, and
Absolutely.
that he was like my best friend growing up.
That's so nice.
Yeah, so it was really nice.
And your mom's still around?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I think I misunderstood. And I'm sorry again for his loss. That is terribly sad. Is the grandfather still around?
No, he passed away too.
Okay.
So yeah, it's kind of weird now, like that I'm in the industry and I'm like, oh, I can't really talk to them about it. But like,
Definitely. But at least you know they'd be proud, right?
yeah.
Definitely.
So that's the nice thing.
So you're back up there with your mom. Do you have any siblings?
Yeah, I have an older sister and then a younger sister who's
Okay.
in high school.
Do you feel very middle child?
Yeah, I'm very much the definition of a middle child, and they'll even say it too.
What is a middle child aspect to you?
It's like, I don't know how to explain it. It's so funny because like my older and little sister always fight over like who's my mom's favorite. And I'm like, I'm going to sit this out, but like me and my mom though, like I'm the reliable one. I don't get the recognition, but I'm here.
Definitely.
Like, yeah.
I don't make all the noise, but
Yeah.
we all know the truth.
Yeah.
Definitely. I'm just two. It's me and my younger sister, and we're very. It's actually the reason I ask is because I've always considered my little sister to be very like younger sister personality, like baby child. But I was talking to my mom on the phone yesterday, and she was like, that's why I'm so glad that your sister is so middle child. And I was like, what? And she was like, how. And she like listed off a couple things that I don't want to air out. And I was like, oh, I never really thought of that because like I'm the older brother, so I just always like I look at her like she's a baby, And she's like, no. Like if she acted like that, she would be like this. And I was like, oh, I'm a huge believer in like the role you play in your family like has a huge impact on your personality.
Yeah.
I think it's just like nature and nurture. It's added in there. I know you just graduated from USC. You had mentioned huge congratulations.
Thank you.
I always celebrate when I tell people that I graduated, so we'll do it for you too.
Okay, thank you.
Congratulations. It's fucking lit. You got your music industry degree.
Yes.
Do you think that you got a lot from your USC experience? Tell me about it.
I think so. I think I took advantage of everything that USC had to offer. I didn't come here as a freshman. I transferred. I went to community college for 3 years beforehand.
Where'd you go?
I went to a community college in Ventura County called Moore Park.
Okay. Did you like it?
I loved it there.
My roommate, he dropped out. We went to school we're from Delaware. He went to school in Delaware. He didn't like it. He dropped out. We moved here. So he's considering going back, and he's been talking about doing one of those plans where you like go to community college, transfer in.
Yeah, I'm a big advocate for community college. I was not a school kid. I hated it. I wanted to drop out in middle school.
No way.
I was like, I'm going to work in the entertainment industry. I don't need a degree. I
crazy.
just need experience. Like, I knew that from sixth grade.
It's crazy. That's a very early age to be thinking that.
Yeah. So, and I remember my best friend, Xage, which thank God for her, else I probably wouldn't have graduated. Her and my mom kept me in school. And she was like, no one's going to hire someone who didn't finish middle school. Like, you got to stay.
Didn't finish middle school.
Yeah.
Shout out them for keeping you in line. That's funny.
So I did not care for SATs, ACTs, did not care really for high school education. Like, I did a lot of after school activities. So I was in the business program and did stuff with them. And in the, was it theater? I did theater as well. And so I was involved there, but education wise, I did not care.
A true social creature.
Yeah.
I'm the same way, dude. We'll say it like this. It was very surprising that USC took me in. You know? Yeah. It was very surprising.
I remember all my friends applying for USC, and I was like, heck no, am I going to do that to myself? I'm not getting in high school. And so, yeah, I got into a liberal arts school called Columbia College Chicago.
Okay.
And it's very much in the arts, and they had a arts management program. So I got into there, but my mom told me I couldn't go because it was out of state and she didn't want to pay for it.
Oh,
and she was
unlucky.
she was like, you got in, great, but you aren't mature enough. You didn't care for school. So how am I going to know that you're going to care for this school that's like way more expensive? And so she's like, go to community college and, you know, work from there. And then you can transfer into like a good school like UCLA, USC, one of those that also has a music industry program. And so I was like, I hate you. Like, I was so mad. Like, you want me to fail. You don't believe
That
in
would
me.
be really frustrating. I can only imagine. Yeah.
And
it's
so
like, yeah.
I was, and my school was also like, it was a private school. So they were super about what their numbers look like.
The high school?
Yeah, my high school.
Okay.
So they were super about like what their numbers look like, who was going to what Ivy League or what like nice school. And they didn't really want their kids to go to community college. And to that, I say, fuck that.
Yeah,
because,
absolutely.
You know, don't waste your money if you don't
college
have to.
is a college.
A college is a college.
I agree.
Yeah, my community college was amazing. They had a great like business program and a great music program. And so I just kind of went and created my own curriculum there.
That's amazing. I'm familiar with that concept.
Yeah, so I just took all the business classes I could, and then I took all the music classes that I could. And I even asked like my professor, he was my music technologies professor. I'm like, hey, I really want to do a music business class. Are there more students who have an interest in that? And can we create that? Like, can that be a thing?
No
and
way.
there was other students who also expressed interest, so they created one. So,
No way.
Yeah.
Upon your request, as well as others, of course. But
yeah.
That's awesome.
So it was a great like stepping stone. So like by the time I came to USC, I like knew some stuff and I wasn't completely like what felt like behind or
That's
anything.
also like, besides the general knowledge that you received, extremely, extremely like professional. Like I'm trying to think of the word that I would use, but like to make your own class in college is super unique and shows a lot of determination. Do you know what I mean? Are you able to like write that on your resume, or is it just like something that you kind of just verbalize?
I kind of just verbalized it. I did it in my like college application. Like so to USC, I was like, here's like how desperately I want to work in this industry that I did all this.
Wait, that's so, dude. I always think, I tell people this, that what got me into USC was 100% not my grades or my academics. It was 100% those video like submissions we had to make, you know? And it's because I was so real. And I actually argued the same case as you. I was like, look, I really want to learn this shit, and I literally cannot where I am. I transferred in as well. I don't know if I mentioned, but I transferred in as a junior. I went to a school in New Jersey for 2 years. That's my cat's automatic feeder.
That's so cool.
We're bougie. I was there. They had just started a music industry program. So it was like a couple steps ahead of the school you were at. They had just started it like the same time I got there. And it just like was not fulfilling. You know, like it led to a lot of dead ends. It was still like learning. I thought it would be cool to come in on the ground floor and like learn alongside everyone else. But it was more like, you guys kind of need to figure this shit out before you start trying to tell people you can teach them this. So same thing. I was just like, please, please take me. I really need to learn.
I don't want to be here anymore.
Yeah, and then they took me. So it's clear that's something they really care about. And then tell me, I find that the most valuable thing at USC, I think you may agree because you seem to be not as academic pursuant as some other people, was the social aspect.
Yes.
I was very excited about how motivated and driven all of the peers were, how active everybody was, both the peers and the professors in the industry. Did you feel the same way? And how have you like taken advantage of those resources?
Yeah, definitely felt that way. I really liked my incoming class that I had. I came, I think, fall of 2017.
Okay.
And it was a good group of kids. And all of us were just like super like gung-ho about like supporting each other and all that,
Yep.
which was great. And then I found like my own people within that group, and we just started collaborating with each other. I wish I would have expanded my like network a little bit more.
Everyone does.
With like the newer students. But you know, you get older,
Exactly.
you just other things happen.
I blame them. You know how like when you're a freshman, you come to school, like I think when you're a freshman, you come to school, it's like, okay, who's living around me? Those are my best friends.
Yeah.
Period. Like typically that's how it goes. And you don't really like expand your circle.
Yeah.
Especially in LA.
Yeah, it's hard because it's just there's so many people. There's just so many things. And the teachers too. Like I have a great relationship with Mike Garcia. He actually was the one who read my application.
That's cool.
And he like told me the first day of orientation, like, I remember you. I think I read your application.
That's crazy.
Like, whoa.
I always wonder, who read mine and how that all went down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was very interesting to hear that. So I was like, well, thank you for letting me come here.
Absolutely. You single-handedly.
You single-handedly let me have a career here.
Yeah, he's an angel.
Yeah, so I have a great relationship with him and with Loren, who teaches PR. We really connected because I did feel when I came here it was like another culture shock.
Totally.
Because I knew it was diverse a little bit, the school, but I didn't know like how segregated it was. I don't know if you see this.
Oh, I do.
Okay. Like
More than a lot of the people seem to admit.
Yeah,
to realize. It's
like
weird. Yeah,
the different departments are all like, it's very interesting to see how segregated everything is. And then when I came for music industry, like I didn't have high hopes that it was going to be diverse because I was like,
It's USC.
It's USC, and also it's not a career that many like minorities are encouraged to go into.
Totally.
And so when I got there, I was like, oh, like
I was right.
there's a lot of white kids here.
I know.
And I like gravitated to like these two Asian girls, and like one of my best friends from the school, he's black. So like the two of us were like, oh, like brown and black people, like
Yeah,
unite.
definitely. I did notice though, there is like half Asians at the school, but
Yeah.
POCs,
Yeah,
not really.
like the rest of the group,
Exactly.
not so much. And it was very much, it was like very segregated, and I didn't like that.
So you found Loren.
So I found Loren, but we actually knew each other prior because I was working at the time with an artist called Cuco, and she was his PR.
No way.
Yeah,
How'd you get that? That's extremely like lucky.
yeah. So beyond just like USC too, I also tried to make a network in the LA scene, which is like, I think an advantage I had being from LA, because not many people would know where to start with that.
Agreed.
And so there's this network of Latinas in music.
Okay.
Yeah, I think is what it's called. And my sister found out about it, and she worked at Live Nation at the time. And so she was like, hey, there's this like group of Latinas talking about what they do in the music industry. You should come to this panel.
Okay.
And I was like, I can't. I think I was like living on campus and I didn't have my car here. So I was like, I can't, but like tell me how it goes. And she met some like really amazing women there.
I believe that.
And they all were like, yo, we want to help any Latina who wants to be in the music industry. Like, give me your sister's number, or like give her my number, and we'll connect. And so I got to connect with a few people through that.
It was like exactly what you're looking for.
Yeah.
I have definitely, not to always talk about Kevin, but I literally always talk about Kevin. Kevin is a huge, huge supporter of like women in the industry. I don't know what it comes from, but it's just like something he's always been passionate about. Like even when he first started his businesses, he like strictly only hired women. He's been about that life. And one of the most important things I've learned, even in Loren's class, she's mentioned this in plenty of classes, like mentorship is the most valuable thing in the industry, period. And to find someone who like you can relate to on so many different levels will like, it's perfect. And so, but that being said, there are people in those communities who are very sometimes weird about that kind of stuff. And they'll be very like, no, I'm not here to give handouts. I had to work my way up. You have to work your way up, So I think it's amazing that you found like a group of people who are as passionate about like trying to bring up their community as you are. So tell me how that went moving forward.
Yeah. So I met this amazing PR lady. Her name is Danielle. Oh God, I'm going to mess up her last name. Her last name starts with Q. I'm so sorry, Danielle, if you hear
She
this.
won't mind. Shout out, Danielle Q.
And she runs an agency now called No Other Agency. So she has like...
Is it Quixote?
No.
Okay, that was my only guess.
Quebrado, I think, is what it is.
Okay.
Quebrado. I'm so bad.
It's okay. Sorry for bringing it back up.
But she runs an agency called No Other Agency, where she works with like artists like Snow Allegra, Jean Dawson. And before that, she was at another agency working with like Migos before Migos was
No
Migos.
way.
Yeah, so she had like, she went through everything in the industry. She used to work at Atlantic. She used to work at a bunch of places. And so she started this like mentorship program. And she's like, I had a hard time coming up, and it was like very white dominated. She was like, obviously things could kind of change, but like I want to help.
Male dominated, I bet.
Male, yeah, very male dominated. So yeah, I like asked if I could like, you know, have a dinner with her and like discuss some things that I was like curious about. And she like took me up on that offer. I also connected with a Latina lawyer named Marjorie, she's amazing. And I was like, what? There's like Latina entertainment lawyers? Like, I didn't know that.
Honestly, you're saying it to me now, and I'm thinking like, damn, this is a really cool community that I wish I could be a part of. No, it sounds awesome.
But yeah, so I, at a time, and I'm still kind of debating on like pursuing a career in entertainment law. And so when she found out about that, she was like, yes, please contact me. I want to like any like future Latina lawyers, I want to help.
I was going to say, she's probably more aware than anybody that that's like very uncommon.
Yeah.
You know, like for a Latina woman to want to be a music lawyer, that's very specific.
Yeah. So she also had a conversation with me, and then that led to like gatherings, like we would get together, this whole community, and just like link up at like a park or something. And that's when I like started to meet this woman. Her name is Doris Munoz, and she started this management company called Mija Management. And that's how she managed Cuco. So that's how I started to get to know her. And then we like the hard part for me, because I was super shy at that point and like super insecure and had like imposter syndrome. And I was like, I'm not worthy. Like, I don't even know how I got into USC. Like, it was so much stuff that I always was like super shy to like introduce myself to these women beyond the ones that I already connected with.
You seem very well past that now.
Yeah, thank God.
Yeah, thank God.
Thank God I got through that.
Sorry you went through that, but I'm sure you learned a lot.
Yeah, and so I like followed Doris on social media, and she posted that she was doing a USC Red Bull entrepreneurship workshop.
Okay.
And I was like, I never heard about this, and I go to USC. Like, I was so surprised. It was exclusively for the entrepreneurship class, I guess, or something like that, or a program. And I just like, she messaged and she was like, I don't know if anyone outside of USC wants to go, but like, let me know. So I messaged her, and she put me on the list. And then I got there, and I was like, okay, Emmeline, you don't know anyone here, but there's like a lot of USC students, so you know what like the level's gonna be of people trying to impress one another. So you are gonna spend this whole day pitching yourself to her and making yourself shine and making her want to like know who you are.
It is so valuable to go into a scenario with a goal like that.
Yeah. And so that's what I did. I like spoke up at any chance I could get. I like was talking about things that I was doing and was very like outgoing.
You go, girl.
And I was like, I had to give myself a huge pep talk to do that. And then I talked to her afterwards, and she was like, I like recognize you from like the scene. And I was like, oh, sick. Like,
You should.
Thank God. And so, yeah, and then we started talking, and then she asked me if I had an internship lined up for the summer. And I was like, no, I don't actually. And she's like, well, let me know if you want to intern for me, because Cuco's going to have his album drop, and I need all the help I can get.
Wow.
And so that's how I started my career, kind of.
The foot in the door.
With the foot in the door, yeah.
Dude, yeah. And I love your story, because it wasn't like it was an extreme right place, right time. Like, it was like this person introduced me to this person, who introduced me to this person, who I went out of my way to go find. Like, you worked for it.
Yeah.
I think that is incredible. And the Cuco thing is crazy. I mean, he had a really crazy year last year. Have they hired you? How's it gone?
Yeah. Since? So after that, I was her intern. I spent the summer with her and Cuco doing like music video shoots. He was doing his like tour, finishing it up in Southern California. So I like drove to every single one of them, which was like...
He's like a kid, right?
Yeah,
he's... You get to associate with him at all directly?
Yeah, so eventually I did.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, so I was an intern from like the summer to the end of 2019. And in 2020, she hired me as her full-time assistant. So I was still in school. And yeah, I got to like work with him. We did, I think because I got to see him occasionally, but you know, he's a busy guy.
Of course. He's the artist, you're the employee.
Yeah, he's the artist, I'm just the intern.
Of course, yeah.
But then there was one occasion in February where he had like a video shoot, and my boss couldn't be there. So she's like, it's just gonna be you and Omar. That's his name.
Nice. Nice.
And so I was like, oh, okay. And I'm like, all right. And so I like texted him like, yo, Omar, what kind of coffee do you like?
Yeah,
Like, I'm gonna bring you
dude.
coffee.
Nice,
And he
nice.
was like, sick. Like, can you just bring me like black coffee? I'm like, all right, cool. And yeah, I just had to be his person there, which
Yeah.
was hysterical because like here's these like two brown kids. Like
Kids.
kids.
Yeah.
Like we were kids,
Kids.
23 and he was like 22.
Yeah.
And we're at this like video shoot and everyone's like, are you okay? Is everything okay? Like, and then I was like, yes, I'm management. So
Go
like
team.
they had to talk through me like for anything they had of like concerns or anything. And they had to run everything by us. And I was like, he's a kid from Hawthorne. I'm just a girl from LA. Like,
Yes, dude, that's fucking awesome. Yeah.
yeah, so it was a wild experience.
How, like, I have a grandiose question that I'm trying to figure out how to phrase, but like, all these people are sort of empowering you. Do you feel like a responsibility or maybe a desire to want to empower people around you?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, tell me about it.
I cannot like right now I'm thinking of starting my own management thing. And I'm like, I would never have the audacity to like try to do something like that if it wasn't for the women before me who did that and showed me like, oh yeah, you can do that. Like if you want to start your own company, start your own company. So that was very much something like as soon as I was in that world, I was like, I want to help other Latinas in that world. So I definitely like connected with people on the grades below me who are Latina and like expressed interest and knew that I was in that world. And like I also reach out to like there's some like mentorship programs. I'm like, hey, like I want to help because if it wasn't for my mentors, like I would not be where I am. So like that's a huge thing of what I want to do.
I totally agree. That's like, it's making me think more about what you said about, or what we were talking about with the mentorship. You know, like it's, the value is infinite. Like someone mentored you and you knew right away, like, oh shit, now I need to mentor someone too. Like I want to mentor someone else, you know? And that's like systemic, like it'll just keep going. And I also, not to like bring back USC, but that'll be like likely where you'll look for resources, you know, because we have like our grounds there. We know there's resources there. You know, there's young Latin girls there who like want to get jobs in this exact field. So I just think like these connections have been unbelievable. And you clearly are passionate about like making all of these connections. How has that like benefited you outside of this one internship? Because you were telling me off air how you've been very like active searching for new talent for your up and coming management agency.
Yeah. Yeah. So it really taught me how to network the whole experience and like building relationships. And so, yeah, I definitely have been like keeping in contact with people that I previously worked with. And then, yeah, I realize now also how like artists like to be talked to from my experience with like very, very close with Cuco. And I also worked really closely with another artist in that management roster. Her name was LaDonia.
Okay.
And so she was like new and upcoming too. So I was working closely with both of them. And I'm like, all right, I understand artists. I'm also a Cancer, so I'm in tune with my emotions.
Nice.
And so I'm like, they're sensitive folks. And so I need to like be able to communicate in a way that doesn't scare them, that makes them feel like they're being heard and taken care of. And so, yeah, that was a huge learning experience too.
Absolutely. The way you talk to people is more important than what you say to people, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah.
And so also you reach out to people on Instagram or email or what? Like I want to lead you into talking about these British guys. Tell me about it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Tell me about it.
So like, yeah.
If it's important.
Yeah, yeah.
If it's not, then we don't have to.
No, it's good. But because although I'm Latina, like the Latin music space isn't exactly where I want to be.
Okay, sure, yeah.
Because I was raised by my stepdad. He was very much like into rock and
Okay, is he white?
yeah.
Okay, heard.
Jewish. So like
Nice, we love.
yeah. So
I'm Jewish.
Yeah, diversity, man.
We love, yeah.
I love it. And so yeah, so he like showed me like Foo Fighters and Nirvana as a young kid, and my mom would like play the radio all the time, and it would be like Sublime and you know all this stuff.
Kevin's people.
Yeah, so it was just like I was like super into that, and yeah, and so I been like, I guess it was like 2010s era where that was like my musical awakening of like what my genre was. And it was like the Passion Pit, the 1975,
Yep.
like Phoenix,
I know all these bands.
All those bands, Vampire Weekend.
Yeah, girl.
All that. So I was like,
went through this phase too.
Yeah, I was like, these are my people. And then it was also the same time when like One Direction came out. And I was like, I was
You big
like
stan?
aware of One Direction before One Direction was a thing.
Oh shit.
Like, let that be known. I got to meet them before they were famous in America.
No way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they were out.
Do you like A&R? Like, is that something you're interested in? Okay.
It's like like it's cool, but I'm also just like I like working with the artists and making their dreams come true.
I'm more into that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not good at discovering.
Yeah, I was like, I can discover. I've been doing that as like a young kid, but I think it's like very much. I support the fangirl like mentality. I think that in the future they're gonna run the music industry completely. Because if it wasn't for like my high awareness of British boy bands, I wouldn't know about like the British music scene.
Yeah.
And like who were the radio stations to know and you know, who are the DJs to like that played all the music and all that.
I like this alternate universe where you pitch One Direction to a label in America
Yeah.
and you made them famous.
Yeah.
I like that.
I would like that to be the reality, but it wasn't. I was just like a fan and I ran into them at Six Flags and no one knew who they were.
Dude, that's
Yeah.
crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, my friend took a picture of them. She's like, maybe they'll be famous. And I'm like, girl, just you wait.
Wow,
Just you wait.
that is unbelievable. So you've always had an affinity for like UK music and
Yeah.
boy bands, I guess.
Yeah. So I've always had like an affinity, like, yeah. So always had a love for them. And yeah, and I keep up with that. So I listen to a lot of like BBC Radio 1.
I love British content.
They're so good.
I stand a lot of things that come out of Britain.
They love
Here,
their
I'm gonna
music.
look at the camera real quick, but continue,
Okay.
please.
Yeah, they love their music very much so. And they still have like a thriving punk rock scene that I think America might be lacking just a little bit.
Punk rock?
Yeah.
Well, ours has died away.
Yeah.
You know, we had Green Day, Blink-182, Paramore, and then we started getting into rap, I think, right?
Yeah.
Do you agree?
Yeah, no, very much so.
Okay. But it's still popping in the UK. Sorry.
It's still popping in the UK. And that's like, I'm like, perfect. I'll find one of them. I'll work with one of them. So I listen to my favorite DJ. His name is Jack Saunders.
Okay.
He's on at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time in, I don't know what time, 10 p.m.
Is he
in the
large?
UK.
Sounds familiar.
He probably, like, you probably
Heard of him? Maybe?
heard of him.
Okay.
He's very much into like that punk scene of the UK and he's very about finding new talent, which is really nice. So he has like a Twitch stream that he does where he'll allow people to put on his Discord like your new music, and he will go for 2 hours through that playlist and give like nice criticism or like constructive criticism about the music. And if he really likes it, he'll be like, I'm gonna put it in front of someone. I'm gonna try to get this played on the radio.
Wow.
And
That's the right thing to do.
It really is. And I feel like the radio here in America, it's like the same 6 songs every time.
It's so corrupt. You
so
must
bad.
be as aware as I, probably more aware because
Yeah.
you're more active in that it's like so corrupt.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. So I'm just like, yeah, no, I'm gonna listen to like Australia and England's radio station.
That's so badass. Yeah.
And it's nice to see a DJ who's like pretty like esteemed and like in a great station that's like still wants to hear about them young folks and what they're playing and what they're making.
Clearly like cares.
Yeah. So I go through that too. So I'll watch his Twitch stream, see artists that I like, and then there's some artists that he doesn't even get to, and I'll go and listen to all of them and then see who I like, and then that will lead me down the rabbit hole of like similar artists on Spotify and all that stuff. So that's how I found this one band.
Damn. Very smart.
Yeah, it's the dark web.
Very resourceful. The dark web.
Yeah.
It's a little less scary than the dark web.
But it's you go deep in there.
Yeah, you have to.
And so I found this one band that I'm in talks with. Their name is Bedroom Boredom. I mean, even if we don't end up working together, they're still really cool.
Yeah, shout out.
And so I like reached out to them and used the fact that I was from LA as like a hook for them to like be interested to read my email.
Don't give away your pro tips. But true, I thought that was a good pro tip.
Yeah. And just basically was like, I like your music, would love to help. Here's a little bio about me. Which writing my bio was like super weird because I've never had to write a bio before.
Sure.
And then I was like, oh, I've done stuff. Like,
Yeah.
way to go me.
Definitely, girl. I totally feel like when you put your resume together, you're like, oh, wow, look at all the stuff I did.
Yeah.
Totally.
So
And they got back to you?
And yeah, they got back to me and they're like, well, we don't know if we're ready for the UK. I'm like, it's okay. Like, COVID's happening. This is the time to prepare for like the US, for all of it. Yeah.
And I hope that y'all can go on tour soon. If you go on tour, hit me up. I'll be your tour manager.
Okay, cool.
I always tell everybody I'm desperately trying to get back on the road. Have you been to the UK before?
No, I've never.
Me neither. And I'm desperate to go. It's so funny that you haven't either. Because I've spent countless hours absorbing UK content. Like, I could definitely lie my way through some UK conversations, you know? But I've never been. I'm trying. Do you like to travel?
I do like to travel. Yeah.
Where's your favorite place you've been?
Alaska.
Oh my God, I love Alaska. I've been there for like once for like 2 weeks, a week and a half. Where'd you go?
I did one of those like cruises up
Okay.
the like Alaska coast.
Yeah, I did one of those when I was a kid. And then my dad's like the biggest traveler you'll ever meet. And he was like, we're going to Alaska. We're getting an RV. So I've done like the land of Alaska too.
Oh.
I ask because like traveling is my favorite thing. And I feel so distant from traveling right now, you know? But I am thankful on the other hand that we have like all these California beautiful things going on, like Death Valley, Joshua Tree, stuff like that. Do you ever like go camping?
I do not.
You do not?
No, I'm very much a city girl. I tried camping as a kid, and like I went to a sleepaway camp up in the mountains, and I got shingles, which is something that you don't get until you're like 70.
That's hilarious.
And I got it.
So no camping, I get that.
Yeah, so I'm like, I'll do it. Like, I'm not anti it, but like, I'm also not someone people like ask to go camping.
Heard that. Well, you seem like you work really, really hard. What do you do to like relieve stress and stay busy outside of your amazing, you know, professional acts?
Oh gosh, I don't know. Music is kind of my personality. Is kind of like everything I do.
If that's true, that's fine. Because I think like we're in our early 20s. Now is not the time to sleep. You know, now is the time to like work and like, make this money.
I do. Yeah. So it's like music or love. Like I'm a pop culture person. Like growing up in LA was surrounded by
Oh yeah, of course.
all this stuff. So I've been very
Tastemakers.
Yeah, I've been very fascinated by it. Like this whole Britney Spears documentary. Like I don't know if you saw it or heard about it.
I know, like basically she's being manipulated by her manager and her label.
Yeah, her father. She's like under a conservatorship, so her father has like complete control of her whole career and basically financial stuff and all that.
And who's filming the movie about it?
It was like the New York Times who did like a documentary about it.
Very interesting.
And they're talking about her breaking point and how paparazzis were insane in the early 2000s, which they were. And I just like remember reading people's reactions on Twitter being like, I can't believe this. And I'm like, how do you not believe that like this happened? Like I remember it as like an 8-year-old. Like I remember this culture being acceptable and it was entertainment and everyone was buying these magazines. And like me and my friend, we were like in second grade and she's like, Justin Timberlake's over because what he did to Britney and Janet Jackson. And I'm like, how do you guys not pick up on this? Like,
but it's so true. And if you can't see it there, you can see it anywhere. Lindsay Lohan.
Paris Hilton. Yeah, there's a whole line of women that need apologies for that kind of stuff.
For being like, manipulated for their success, right? Like, and taken advantage of. I know it's fucked up. The only like relationship I have with Britney Spears is I work at the Grove and they had like the huge Britney Spears exhibit. Did you see that?
No.
They built like a massive, I don't know if it's supposed to be like a museum or like an information center or something, but it was just like huge pink building, just like Britney Spears, but it never opened because it's like it came open like at the start of COVID.
Oh,
and then they were just like, okay, we're gonna shut this down. But this big empty building sat there for months and there's like Britney's face up there.
That's
so
funny.
Cracking up, yeah. So have you been invested in like the Lady Gaga drama?
Oh my gosh, yes.
I didn't even know about it, but Wyatt came home and he was like, bro, we're going dog hunting.
We're going dog hunting. We're going to go find these little pups. I know. I was like so invested in that too. I was texting my friend Sophie and like every day there'd be something new happening. And I'm like, Danny Trejo's now involved. Like
He was? For what?
He's like, he said like at all costs he's going to find those dogs. I know.
The funniest reality.
And we were so invested. I mean, now they found the dogs.
I saw that. I couldn't believe that homie got shot. Her dog walker.
What I was shocked about was that she responded by saying, like, you know, here's the money I'll give, no questions asked. And I was like, if I'm her dog walker, questions will be asked.
Yes, definitely. Also, like like my thing was like, why it was like, do you think he resisted? Like, if the guy came up with a gun, it was like, give me these dogs. Do you think the dog walker was like, no, these are Lady Gaga's dogs? Like, I gotta take them. I can't imagine it went down like that. So I imagine that somebody just like literally pulled up and shot this like innocent person, no questions. Like, isn't that crazy?
It's
For some dogs.
for
And they didn't
dogs.
even get the money in the end, right? Somebody
don't
found the
think so.
dogs.
Somebody
and
else found the dogs.
ransom didn't get paid. Yeah, that shit was crazy. And that just made me think about how insane our celebrity world is right now. Do you think that we're in like a overly celebritized, I don't know what the word would be for that. Do you think we're in a world that's overconsumed by celebrities right now?
Yes, celebrities and influencers.
Yes.
Because it's kind of weird. Like for my work now, I have to like work with influencers, and it's just kind of interesting that
How so?
I don't know. I find it like, I mean, I understand and I respect what they do, I guess, and to a certain extent.
Don't hate on the people that pay you.
Yeah. Well, because they like I don't represent influencers, but I ask influencers to work with these artists, and so like some of them are really cool and like they have managers. I'm like, yo, get your money. Like I get it. But I think it's the ones who like went to Saddle Ranch every night. I don't know if you heard about that.
Heard of.
And they wanted to get paparazzi'd, and Saddle Ranch had like their outdoor dining, so it's very easy to get paparazzi'd.
I've heard of this, yeah.
And I was like, why? Like so I'm from LA. I love LA. But I do take issue when people come to LA with that mentality, because I'm like, you kind of ruining the vibe here. We're actually pretty chill people.
Don't you think everybody comes here with that mentality?
Yeah, there's some people who do. I definitely, I come off harsh when I say this, but I'm like,
Speak your mind.
if you come to LA, like be prepared to work. Don't expect things to come easy, because it won't. And there's 100 of you who are coming as well. And if you don't work as hard, then you're very much going to get left behind. And also, if now is not the time and you need to perfect your craft and come back later, then do that. Like there's nothing wrong with that. But because there's a lot of people who shit on LA, and I'm like, but we're cool. Maybe you haven't met the right people. There's some people who are like, I'm from LA, but it's like, you've lived here for 8 years. You're not from LA.
It's totally different. I agree.
Yeah. So I'm just like, so like when these young kids come, instead of college, they come here.
Yes.
And this is their, Saddle Ranch is their like college bar. It's just kind of like, ooh, okay.
I totally feel you. And that's kind of what I was like sort of insinuating is we're seeing an influx more, I think, of younger people moving out here because of TikTok, you know? And this concept of TikTok housing, influencer housing, where you get like a bunch of people who make content into one house, therefore they can all like bounce clout off of each other and come up with ideas. It's a genius idea, but I agree with you that it does like have a huge culture impact on, or a cultural impact on like where we live. What's my point? I do also agree that we are over obsessed with celebrity culture, but I have a theory that in the future, we will no longer ever consume content from organizations, but only exclusively directly from content creators. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so like, I think that's a good thing. So I actually like that idea. Like in the future, when you want to watch something, you just like open up your phone, you pick who you want to see, not what you want to see. But it's weird because everybody comes out here and everybody's filming everything all the time. And there's kids and there's Saddle Ranch and all this shit that you're talking about. And I do think it's weird. And I also think it's making people who are core to LA leave. Do you notice that happening right now?
Oh my gosh, it's so bad.
Yeah.
Because everyone's coming here. There's so many things that makes LA so expensive, and California in general to be so expensive. But then you have this influx of people coming here, and then they're moving to these lower income areas, and that pushes out the like people who actually been living there their whole life, because now the prices have increased. So like USC is a perfect example of that. Where it's just like all these big companies that are like buying these old homes, tearing them down, and like building these like giant like 4-building duplex things, and then displacing these families.
Exactly.
And primarily all of them are like POC, minorities, all that stuff.
Almost always, yeah.
And so, yeah, I have like, it's hard for me to see that happen in like LA and the whole scene, because it's like, yeah, like, say what you will about LA, but what are you contributing to LA? It's like, what are you helping for the community in LA? So it's been very like,
No, I
it's
totally
sad to
agree.
see.
I totally agree. It's very weird to see. But at the same time, have you been hearing about all this, like, or seeing even, I mean, personally experiencing all these other people leaving, wealthy people leaving because of the taxes?
Yes, wealthy
Yeah.
people leaving, going
Yes.
to other states.
Florida and Texas. Yep.
Florida, Texas. I think Wyoming was another one too.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised because Kanye lives there. There must be a good reason.
Yeah.
Tax cuts, cheap land.
Yeah, because my family, we recently moved, and my mom, like, with all the houses that we were looking at, we would ask, like, where's this family going? And all of them, every house that we saw, like most of them, the families who used to live there moved out of state.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is interesting. See, that's a firsthand encounter to what I'm referring to. That is interesting. I wonder, I bring it up because, and I hate to talk on this conversation because I actually just had it kind of recently, but, and it's stressful and sad, but like, I was curious what the economical impacts of that will be. If all the wealthy people are leaving and all the wealthy people, in the current setup that it is, pay more taxes and help raise the poor people, they're leaving, the money's gone too, So I'm interested to see like what that will be like. It's kind of stressful. But I feel good about it because I think like I'm okay to see old people leaving. I like new people coming in. I know they're influencers and they're cheeky and cheesy, but I like younger mentalities, more open-mindedness and like cultural diversity, like that's coming in, I think. So that's good. Do you agree? Seems like you don't.
Somewhat.
Yeah.
Like cultural diversity, maybe. But I also see like the ones, like the influencers, if we're talking specifically about them.
Sure.
The ones who are on your For You page or the one that's promoted the most are typically white.
Sure.
Just the
Do you think
algorithm.
that's an issue with, I was about to ask, do you think that's an issue with like the way it's set up?
I think it's the algorithm more than anything. Because like for me, at least, like I primarily interact with like POC creators or like female creators. So like I've never seen like Charlie D'Amelio, Addison Rae on my
no
For You
white
page.
boys and classic people on my timeline. Yeah, I feel that.
So like I've never seen like Charlie D'Amelio, who has like the most followers on my For You page, because I just like don't interact with that kind of content.
Sure.
But if you're someone who's not like intentionally doing that, it's very easy for you to never see. So like I was talking to my friend about I don't know if you heard of Chris Jamal Evans. It's like a part of like Black TikTok and Black Twitter where they like considered Chris Evans as Black. And it's like all these videos proving why.
I haven't seen it.
And it's like
that's
him
cool.
flirting with like Black women.
He must be really excited about this.
Oh yeah, he's seen it.
That's hilarious.
And I was talking to my friend about that because she's like really big on the Avengers. So I'm like, have you seen about Chris Jamal Evans? And she's like, I've never heard about that.
Never heard of it either.
And she's white. And so I was like, oh, it's like on Black TikTok. She's like, oh, I'm not there. And I was like,
I'm probably not there either.
and I'm like, as you probably wouldn't be. And I
Yeah.
was like, okay. But I'm like, well, here's like the premise of it. And she was like, oh, that's hysterical. So I sent her some videos. But I was like, yeah, actually, no, that makes sense that she wouldn't have known about this.
Dude, I have one comment, one like not relevant comment and then one relevant comment. My non-relevant comment is that my TikTok thinks I'm like a Mexican skater boy. So I am like very actively in Mexican TikTok for some reason. I don't know why, but I'm so down for it. And then on the other thing, have you seen that documentary, the big one? Oh shit. The big one about social media, the social dilemma. Yeah. Have you seen that?
Yes.
So they talk about sort of what we're talking about, where like you have interests, social media is pre-programmed to feed you your interests, therefore it's feeding you closed-mindedness because it's not like showing you things that you're not interested in, but that's how you become open-minded. Do you see that as a problem in our society, and do you think it's real? Like, do you believe in that?
Yeah, I like see how
Like this impact of social media to keep people closed-minded?
Yeah, I mean, I could see that. And like, especially for people who just like go on it without any intention really, just for entertainment, that they would just get like stuck in one place.
Which is most people.
Yeah, which is most people. So like I could see that being a thing. I forgot what was the other question that was part of it.
That was my question, really.
Okay.
So do you think it's a thing? And then do you think it's going to get worse or better? Do you think it's causing a divide in society? Do you think social media is a good thing? Like, tell me, I'm just kind of trying to ask some questions about social media.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, I think social media can be a good thing. I think just the thing is that we're still in the beginning phases of it, of like learning exactly what it is.
Dude, I feel, preach.
Because I remember in school, like when the computers came out, like being in like kindergarten and learning how to
Typing class.
typing class, and the teachers being like, never use your full name, never put like where you're from, don't put your age or anything. And now everyone's like, Emmeline Salazar, 24 from LA, like hit me up on like my Instagram or whatever.
My younger sister had her phone number publicly on her Instagram. I was like,
God.
Mackenzie, no. And she argued with me. She was like, it's fine. And I was like, it is so not fine.
No, that's not fine.
Yeah. Sorry to cut you off, but I know exactly what you're referring to.
Yeah. So, and I feel like now with this younger generation, because I'll see my little sister and she's, I'm like, did they teach you about this stuff? Like my little sister doesn't put much on, but she's kind of, because she has older sisters, she's kind of more of an older soul.
My sister as well.
But her friends will be like putting more things online that like, I'm like, y'all not learn about this? Did they not teach you? And it's like, well, yeah, because like Twitter like came out like relatively recently. TikTok is like brand spanking new. Like, do we really know how to navigate these spaces completely safe?
Definitely not.
Which
and
is not.
I know there's that whole conversation is like, is it the parent's job or a teacher's job? Honestly, I think in that situation, like for the safety of our people, it should be both. Because like when you're a parent, I don't know any kid under the age of 13 that doesn't have a phone now. Like everybody has a phone or whatever I meant to say. People know what I meant. I think I said it wrong. But every kid gets a phone now, and parents are quick to just be like, here, take the screen so you're not in my face anymore. A lot of parents are not quick to be like, also, let's talk about the right ways to use this. You know? And I think that's a problem. And that's like kind of what you're referring to. I'm sure your parents do a good job, and that's not what I'm saying. But it's true. Like, I see a lot of stuff on my sister's friends' profiles where I'm just like, holy shit. Like, addresses, phone numbers, we're all right here, right now, me and my 3 other 13-year-old girlfriends. Like, what if I was trying to come take you?
Yeah.
I got you now.
You're done.
It's so crazy. I hope to see, on a huger statement, I hope to see a big change in our academic system for our new society. Our academic system is based on like the learnings of like the 60s and 70s. And it's like, bruh, our world is not like that anymore, Like, for one, there's all the things that the textbooks like lie about, which is fucked up and we need to correct. And then in addition, it's like all of the new tech that you're talking about, social media safety. Dude, I need financial advice in school. I'm about to graduate college. Nobody ever taught me how to write a check, balance a check, anything like that. I know nothing. So yeah, I hope to see some like big changes in our society. Do you feel good about our society like this year, today?
Yeah, I feel like COVID has taught people compassion. I hope. I think, this last president really opened up a lot of people's eyes about, the racism that's still prevalent in America. Me Too movement shown like, you think it's better, but it's really not. So, and it's becoming more like an okay conversation. Like I recently did like a job interview and they asked me like, what do you stand for? Like,
deep.
And I was like, whoa, I love that I'm being asked this because I'm very much someone who's like an advocate and vocal about it. And sometimes like that can be off-putting for people. And so, and like in the workspace, like, oh, we don't want to be political or whatever. And I'm like, these are just kind of human rights that I talk about. But okay.
Dude, yeah, I feel you.
And so that I was asked by this one label that was like, we want to know, like, are you cool? Like, do you also align with our vision and what we believe in? By like saying it in a way that they can't like be sued for it because like it's like a tricky line. But I was like, I love that I'm being asked this. I love that this is a part of the conversation now.
Definitely.
And it's welcomed.
Yeah, I agree with the statement that I'm hoping that society is getting better because I don't know. And I am seeing a lot of like negative things still happening. But I do think more conversations are happening. Like that's just a fact. And so that's always good. And I totally agree, right? Like something I was commenting a lot on at the start of COVID was interpersonal relationships, having those conversations. Kids going back home and being stuck at home with their parents who they weren't expecting being stuck home with because of COVID are now having to have these conversations that like they've been avoiding, like about race and sex and all of these things. And I think that was really, really helpful for society. So if that's like moving into the workplace, I think that would be good too. Like I'm not saying you want to only surround yourself with people who have the exact same thoughts as you, but I do think you don't want to put yourself in a toxic environment on either side of the spectrum. Like
Yeah.
if you don't care a lot about political stuff, you don't want to go to a workplace where everybody's been talking about it all the time, and then vice versa. You know, like if you do care a lot, you don't want to go somewhere where everybody's like, "Shut the fuck up, you SJW." You know, like you don't
Yeah.
want that. So that is really exciting, and shout out that label because that is important. I forget what I was about to say. I had something I wanted to add about society, but I don't remember. Damn it! I got caught up in my own words. Social media, clout. I don't remember. PC. I don't remember. Well, we do want to get you out of here kind of soon because you said you had something at 1:00. Not that I'm kicking you out, but it is 12:45. Is there anything that we didn't discuss that you would like to discuss? Any shout outs you want to make? Any words for the people?
Oh, I'm also a part of this collective called Sleezehog.
Oh, I know about him.
Oh, you do?
I do, yeah.
Sick. Yeah. So started as a 425 project that never ended.
Fuck yeah, the real college experience.
Yeah. So if you like punk music, actually, we're kind of broadening our brand more beyond punk music, but we started as that punk music that primarily booked women, what's the other one? POCs and queer artists.
Okay.
Because we felt like they were very underrepresented in the live scene, and created a safe space for them to perform. So look us up on Sleezehog on Instagram. We have some shows coming up virtually, unfortunately.
Naturally, yeah.
Yeah.
That's okay, not for long.
We had a whole like South by Southwest lineup thing going on.
That was a huge deal when that got canceled. I just remember, you reminded me of that.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Yeah.
I know. A year. It's honestly like all the memories of the first week of like lockdown happening is coming back because I was like in deep with work, like getting ready for South by Southwest. One of our artists, LaDonia, had her album coming out March 13th, and that was the day that the governor said, no more shows. And we were driving on the way to San Francisco to her show.
No way. That's crazy.
Yeah. So, yeah, so many things that
Hurdles.
like, just disappeared. Like, you know, in the Avengers at the end when they all like become
the snap.
dust. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people had to go through that this year. I know, it is so shitty, man. Like, anytime I hear somebody complaining about it, I'm like, bro, I feel you. Like, my soul lives on the road. So, like, being stuck here is it's a hurdle.
Yeah.
But we adapt.
We do.
You're very, like, driven and smart. So I have no fears that you'll be able to handle it. And we'll all be back on the road soon, you know?
Yeah.
So definitely go follow Sleezehog. Anything else?
I don't. Oh, stream Kali Uchis' song Telepatia. I don't know when this is gonna air, but right now it's doing really well, and I work for her.
You do work for her?
Yeah.
Nice.
I do PR, so that's one of the artists that. Oh, we didn't talk about Loren's stuff, but like, yeah.
Oh yeah, you work for Loren. What's
Work for-
Loren's last name? Why can I not?
Medina.
Thank you. I was close, but I couldn't remember her last name. Yeah, Loren Medina. Shout out.
Yeah. So right now, Kali Uchis, she is killing the game with her song Telepatia.
Okay.
Stands for telepathy. It was like a song that wasn't supposed to be a single. We didn't have a music video planned for it. And all of a sudden, the internet and TikTok was like, this is a great song. We're just going to stream it. And it's like one of the few like female solo Latin songs to actually do well on the charts.
Congratulations.
Yeah, so stream that.
That's really cool because, wait. Why is that really cool? Kali Uchis' new single, Telepatia. Fuck, dude, I'm like spaced on everything all of a sudden. I don't know, but that's really cool. I can't remember why. I can't remember why, but that's really cool. I'm still thinking about it.
Okay.
Fantastic. I don't have anything to add. Do you have any like words of wisdom for the people?
If you want to do it, do it.
Mm-hmm.
Your homies are your people, you know.
Keep your circle tight.
Keep your circle tight.
Network is your net worth.
Yeah. Don't like, you know. Oh, words of wisdom for anyone who's a senior and starts working full time before they graduate. That work-life balance is very important. And don't forget your peers, because it's very easy to be like, oh, I'm already in the industry. I don't need to worry about these kids, because nah.
If I'm going up, I'm bringing up everybody around me.
Honestly.
I stand by that. And
Yeah.
I'm glad you feel the same way. Okay. Well, it's been a pleasure, Emmeline.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. Nice to meet you.
Dude, nice to meet you. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for being so open about all of the shit you have going on in your life. Thanks everybody who made it this far. I appreciate you. I love you. We'll have more stuff coming next week. Make sure to follow Emmeline on the gram, Sleezehog. Check up on Cuco, Kali Uchis. Check out the British band. What were their names?
Oh, Bedroom Boredom.
Check out Bedroom Boredom. They're cool. One Direction, if you haven't heard of them.
Love them.
All right, everybody. Thanks for listening. Talk to you all later. Peace.
I'll take you down to my house by the river, 'cause I wanna see you. Swallow you whole in the sand. I'll shake you down to your quiver, 'cause I wanna see you quiver, quiver. Lay my sword and shield down where I stand. But I said I wouldn't worry. No way, no way, no way, no way now. But I said I wouldn't worry. No way, no way, no way, no way now. I was given a pill by a man in a suit that was falling off. He told me don't worry if your store your skins are turning yellow. I just wanna feel mellow. I was holding the hand of the girl who was sitting next to me, sweating profusely. Told me her name was Sheila. Well, it's nice to meet ya. I hope you don't die, but at least you will get out of here. Oh wait, oh wait, oh wait, oh wait now. But at least you will get out of here. Oh wait, oh wait, oh wait, oh wait. Don't worry if your eyes don't you get that turning yellow. I just wanna feel mellow, but I said I don't worry if your eyes don't. Don't worry if your eyes don't you get that turning yellow. I just wanna feel mellow, but I said I don't worry if your eyes don't. But I said I wouldn't worry. No way, no way, no way, no way now. But I said I wouldn't worry. No way, no way, no way, no way. Don't worry if your eyes don't. But I said I wouldn't worry. No way, no way, no way, no way now. But I said I wouldn't worry. No way, no way, no way, no way now. But I said I wouldn't worry. No way, no way, no way, no way now. But I said I wouldn't worry. No way, no way, no way, no way. But don't worry if your eyes don't. Don't worry if your heart
Hey Ben, looks like you dropped your pick.
Sit.